I recently traveled halfway around the world to visit one of the most powerful energy spots on the planet, a small town in Arizona called Sedona. This specific place is what's known as an energy vortex, and it has the power to create life-changing spiritual transformations in the people who walk this land. But here's a little secret. You don't have to go to a place like Sedona in order to experience the energy of a vortex. You can access and use this energy right from the comfort of your home if you want. Coming up in this video, you'll learn what an energy vortex actually is, how it affects you, then the two most common types of energy vortices, how to work with the powerful energy of a vortex, and finally, how to create a vortex in your own physical space when you're not able to visit one of the famous ones. Here we go. The first thing we need to get out of the way is to understand what exactly an energy vortex is. Here's how I define a vortex. It's a physical location where the veil between dimensions is thinner, so you can connect with spirit more easily and the intensity of the energy is stronger. The way I see energy vortices intuitively is like wormholes that are present on various locations on the planet, and they cut through the thicker energy veil that covers this dimension so we can connect more easily with spirit. You can think of them like holes in the atmosphere of the planet where it's easier to talk to and receive energy from the other side. Normally, the division between spirit world and physical world is like a hardened wall where we as humans sometimes have a hard time communicating with spirit because we have this wall between us. But when we're at an energy vortex, that hard wall disappears and it feels more like a sheer curtain or a screen door. The communication with spirit becomes easier, and it's also easier for energy to circulate from the spirit realms into our bodies. Now, how vortices affect you? Energy vortices affect us mainly because of the sheer intensity of the energy present in the vortex. Remember that the thinning of the veil between realities makes the energy come in more powerfully and intensely, and this will affect you in two main ways. First is through energy upgrades. Once you step into a vortex, you get blasted with intense energy that basically pulls your entire energy system, mind, and body upwards. You get an upgrade just by being physically in the area of the vortex. You don't need to do anything. Your whole system starts to vibrate at a faster rate, and you go into spontaneous ascension quickly. The second way is through intense healing. When you go to a vortex, the purified and elevated energy will push to the surface anything that needs healing in you. And once at the surface, you have time to see the material and intend to release it from your system. And this can happen through healing of a disease, for example, or just healing of a pattern or belief that you had lodged in your subconscious mind. Whatever needs to be healed in you will come up very quickly to the surface when you visit an energy vortex. Hey, beautiful soul, before we get back to the rest of the video, I wanted to let you know that coming up in July 2023, we'll be launching a brand new community and coaching course called Heart Alchemy 2.0. This new version of my premium coaching program has been extended to a year-round community experience that includes bi-weekly live coaching calls, exclusive video content to help you go deeper into healing and breaking free from any challenge in your life, community forums to meet others going through spiritual awakenings, first dibs to book limited access one-on-one coaching calls with me, the ability to connect and book calls with fellow community members and meet your soul tribe, an extensive library of meditations and activations, support from our world-class coaching team, monthly energy updates, and so much more. This new year-round community experience has been designed to give you continuous support and also to help you connect with like-hearted people who are going through the challenges of a spiritual awakening all over the world. If you want to join this exclusive year-round community and coaching experience, click on the link below to join the waitlist. We're opening the enrollment doors only to this waitlist, so if you want to join us, make sure you're on that list. Now to the two types of energy vortices. Energy vortices come in two main types. The first one is what's known as planetary vortices. These are specific geographical places on Earth where the veil has been thinned from the beginning of time. This means that the actual physical spot where the vortex is located was planned ahead of the creation of this reality. Our spirit guides knew that the Earth reality would be a dense reality and that we would forget who we were when we incarnated down here. So specific physical portals were set up around the planet so people could connect through all the noise and density of this planet Earth. And there are many physical vortices on the planet, one of the most famous being Sedona, where I recently visited. One of the main reasons why Sedona is such a powerful vortex of energy is because of the particularity of its famous red rocks. The rocks are red due to high concentrations of iron, and it's the presence of iron that makes the vortex even more powerful because metal is a fantastic conductor of energy. So when you go to Sedona, it quite literally feels like you're being zapped with energy. But there are many other physical vortices on the planet, like Mount Shasta in California, Lourdes in France, Fatima in Portugal, the Great Pyramids of Egypt, Mecca in Saudi Arabia, Machu Picchu in Peru, Uluru in Australia, Stonehenge in the UK. And these are only a few of the many vortices on the planet. If you know of any more, share them in the comments below after watching this video. One of the things you may notice about the list of vortices that I shared is that a few of them include places where spiritual apparitions occurred. An apparition is when a spirit being materializes in this physical reality in a way that a human can actually see with their physical eyes. So places like Fatima in Portugal and Lourdes in France are places where spirit beings, in this case the Virgin Mary, appeared to people. But here's a cool secret. You can also find planetary vortices in places that aren't famous. Sometimes a powerful vortex can be in the forest behind your house, like this forest here, or by a tree in a public park. Some of the most powerful energy vortices I've found have been just by accident, exploring the outdoors, or when I was visiting holy places like churches or chapels. So get used to exploring and get especially good at feeling the energy when you walk around life. And here is a pro tip. It's easier to find energy vortices when you're immersed in nature and the great outdoors. Make a habit of looking around your surroundings when you go on a hike or outside in nature. Notice the particularities of a place. Maybe there's a tree that stands out to you or a cave that looks interesting. These signs are usually present around energy vortices, and if you're paying attention, you can find your very own planetary vortex easily. The second type of vortex is what's known as an intention vortex. These are vortices of energy that are created by human intention and prayer. Intention is an extremely powerful way to concentrate and amplify energy, and when this happens in a group setting, the energy is even more powerful. That's why group prayer works so well. The intentions and prayers of many people can channel a huge amount of healing energy and loving energy. Sometimes an intention vortex is created on top of a planetary vortex, making it even more powerful. This kind of combination vortex is quite common on the planet. For example, the holy site of Lourdes in France is considered a place where healing miracles happen, and it's because of the energy created by millions of people that visit and pray at this site each year. Now to how to work with a vortex. The good news is that working with a vortex is easy because the energy is so intense that the changes almost come automatically. The bad news is that working with a vortex can also be hard precisely because the energy is so intense and amplified. So here's a power tip to help you work with the energy of a vortex. Okay, you ready? And the tip is to surrender. Don't fight whatever is coming up to the surface to be healed, or whatever the vortex is showing you is out of alignment. Remember that it only pushes to the surface what needs healing and is no longer serving you. So let go and surrender to the process. For example, when I was in Sedona, I spoke to many people who had moved to Sedona with their then partners, but once there, the relationships blew up and fell apart. This happened because the relationships were not meant to stay, or they were not in the highest good of all involved, so the vortex energy pushed them out. When you understand that vortex energy works like this, you can breathe a sigh of relief because only the things that no longer resonate with you will leave, and only what needs to heal will come to the surface. And isn't that amazing? You can heal and let go of so much crap in such a short amount of time when you work with energy of a vortex. But now to the million-dollar nugget. How do you create a vortex yourself? This is especially important when you can't visit any of the famous ones. Now, you may be skeptical about this and start thinking, what? I can't create an energy vortex. I'm just a puny little human. Don't let that negative voice sway you. Yes, you can create a vortex, and here's how. The first step is to create physical space. Pick a location to create a vortex in and prepare the space well. This can be a room in your house or a place outdoors by a tree or in the forest. If this is a place you'll want to work in for a long period of time, I recommend creating the vortex in a room in your home. Then make that space beautiful and peaceful by using things like crystals, flowers, candles, your favorite spiritual objects, and even statues or pictures of your favorite gurus or spirit beings. You can even create an altar with all of these items on top of it. Once the space looks ready, purify it with sacred smoke, followed by a floral water mist that you can purchase from a reputable store or practitioner. Step number 2 is intention. Your intention is so powerful, and we already know that because some of the most powerful energy vortices on the planet are in pilgrimage sites like Mecca and Lourdes. This is happening because of the individual intentions and prayers of millions of people. So set a strong intention for creating a vortex, but just make sure that the intention is pure, not something like this.
It's my intention to open an energy vortex and cast a love spell on John so he can fall in love with me and ask me to marry him.
This is not pure intention. This is manipulation of energy, and it's also black magic, so don't do stuff like this. Make sure your intention is pure and elevated for the highest good of yourself and everyone else. Step number 3 is stating a prayer or decree. When I open an energy vortex, I make sure to prepare a prayer or a decree beforehand so that I can say it out loud in the physical space that I have just prepared. Stating your prayer out loud intensifies the energy of your intention. Here's an example of a prayer or decree that I love using to open a vortex. It is my powerful and pure intention to open a vortex of energy for the highest good of all. I call on source energy and the highest spirit guides of the light to help anchor the energy of this vortex and create a healing space where miracles happen. Aho. This is just an example, but get creative and write your own decrees too. Step number 4 is repetition. The more you repeat your prayer or decree, the stronger the energy of the vortex. Your initial intention opens the vortex, and it's like turning on the kitchen faucet in your house, where the water comes out at a pretty good pressure. Repetition, though, is like going from the pressure of a kitchen faucet to an open dam, where the waters are coming out of that dam with enormous pressure and in higher volume. That's the power of repetition. The longer you repeat the prayer or intention, the more powerful the vortex. This is why holy pilgrimage sites are so powerful. It's because so many people have repeated prayers there. So plan to spend at least 30 minutes to an hour initially in repetition to open up a small vortex. But you can keep praying on the site for days afterwards, and the vortex just keeps getting bigger and stronger the more you work with it. And remember, the stronger your vortex, the more you can heal with the help of that physical space. Speaking of healing, I know energy vortices are a wonderful tool to help you heal what needs to be released within you, but I also shot this video here that helps you go deeper into healing past trauma and the 3 truths about healing that you may not want to hear.
Falls in love with me and asks me to marry him.